Are you tired of feeling tired? Are you struggling with vitality? Or does your body just not feel great? Join today's hosts Monique Bradley and registered naturopath Lynette Hill to talk about your health. It's Health Bites, bite-sized pieces of health and wellness information so you can own your health. No mai haere mai, welcome to the Your Fix TV studio. I'm Monique Bradley and tonight we're talking about your health with our resident health expert. This is registered naturopath Lynette Hill. Good evening, Lynette.
Good evening, Monique.
That was all very formal tonight, wasn't it?
Very formal.
Well, we're talking about that time of the year. You can feel the change happening outside in the weather. Chances are if you've been to your local supermarket like I did recently, you'll notice half the staff have coughs and colds and sneezes. Half the staff are away. Lynette, what's going on with the seasons right now?
Well,
We've got this seasonal change.
Yeah, and everybody's noticing it. We're getting people coming into the clinic with sinus and sore throats and glands, and people just aren't coping.
No, that's what happened to me. So yesterday I was completely knocked out with a virus because tonight's topic is fighting coughs and colds. So I've been laid off for a couple of days with a bit of a virus that's going on, which is why we thought it was really pertinent to bring this topic up and look at what your options are aside from having to wait to get into the doctors and aside from having to go on antibiotics. Is antibiotics always the answer?
Not always, sometimes definitely. So if you've gone on to an infection, you're probably going to need some antibiotics, but it's not the only option.
And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. What we're going to do is showcase a whole bunch of natural remedies and natural options for you, including things you might find in your pantry or your fridge that can help you out with your own wellness. But first of all, welcome everybody to tonight's stream. We've got Peter Haynes, Rena Pabu, good to see you. Matuai Tangaire, Ka, Andrew Smallman, Abby Leaf, good to see you. She said, hey girls, good to see you as well. Kerry and Graham Barstow, Sandra Giles, who's watching from Blenheim tonight. Great to see you all. And remember, as always, it's an interactive live show tonight. So if you've got any questions about your wellness, if you want to look after the health and wellness of your family, send the questions in. I've got all the news feeds here. We're happy to answer your questions. So first of all, what's going on? It's coughs and cold season. So what are you seeing in the clinic happening at the moment, right now?
Well, at the moment, it's sore throats is the biggie. Lots of people are coming in with really quite acutely sore throats, lots of glands up. Sinusitis, some people struggle a little bit more with breathing in the winter.
Yes.
But it's mainly at the moment seems to be centered around that sore throat.
So what's actually going on? So the last couple of days, I felt tired, I had a runny nose, and my glands actually really started to swell. And when I went to my local supermarket, half the staff had exactly the same thing, eyes weeping. It's not the flu that I've got. Is it a cold or what's actually going on?
It's likely to be a cold, so it'd be something virus, and that's really good. That means that your glands are working, and they're, you've got all your lymphatic tissue in there, and all your glands are actually there to engulf those bugs and get working. But boy, you feel it, so you need to look after them.
Absolutely. So let's take a quick look at some of the symptoms you may expect or you may have in your family, because there is first of all, we want to ask, why am I always sick? So I know for a fact every year around this time of year I would always get a bronchitis, or I would always get sinus problems, or I would always at the same time every year. And then that would last for ages. Oh, that's not supposed to be in tonight's show. Not sure what's going on there tonight, but I do get stressed as well. So I want to know from you, Lynette, what's actually happening? Why do we recur? Why do some of us seem to get sick all the time?
A lot of it comes down to resilience. It does come down to stress. So that was actually a really good little slide to sneak in there like that. How we're dealing with things, how resistant we are, what our diet's like, if we've actually got some weaknesses. So some people will always go to a bronchial illness. Some will go to a tummy illness.
Okay.
We are having less sunlight. It's cold. It's damp.
That's true.
We're not getting our vitamin D. Maybe we haven't increased our natural sources of vitamin C. Which is really important.
Yes,
we really do need a little bit more.
Right.
As soon as we feel something coming on, we need to hit the herbs and the vitamin C and the zinc and all those good things to boost our immune system, because it's showing that it's not doing it so easily.
Right.
So a sore throat's not a problem. Like a sore throat and you know, a sneezy kind of runny nose for a few days, fantastic. Like, give that immune system a challenge. But when you've got those serious things like bronchitis and sinusitis, that's saying that your immune system didn't get on top of that initial load, and now it's gone a little bit more serious.
Okay, I understand. So we've got the symptoms here on the screen for you, and so what's that difference there between a cold and the flu? So it says there with a cold, you know, you may get a headache, you may have slight aches and pains. So is it, from this diagram, I'm assuming a cold is more your upper respiratory, it's more in your sinuses, it's more those coughs and sneezes, a little bit of congestion there compared to the flu. The flu is starting to get a little bit more serious. So what should people be looking out with the flu?
Well, the flu, you know, when you have a cold, like you feel miserable, but the flu, you can't actually get out of bed.
Right.
You are aching, your bones ache, you've got, you know, fever, you've got chills, it's such a step beyond a sniffy nose and a sore throat.
Right.
You really can't actually get up and tell people, oh, I've got a really bad flu. It's like, no, you've probably got a really bad cold. If you've got the flu, you are in bed.
Okay, so one of the things we're going to talk to you about is acute conditions as well, when it's maybe an opportunity to seek medical advice, what you can do for your family and even the people in your workplace right now to help build up immunity and help fight the effects of those cold and flu symptoms in the workplace or in the home. One of the things we do have to share, however, is the fact that Lynette's not here to diagnose you. All she's here to do is shed new ideas on your health options. So if you are ready, ask questions. Feel free to pick her brains, and if she can help, that's what she's here to do. Right, so we are here, we're live. Thanks to everybody who's watching. Good to see so many of you on tonight's stream. So, how do quick fixes work? You take your cold drill, you know, how does that work long term for your health?
Long term, not so well. Short term, great. You can breathe again, and you know your fever comes down, and you can get through today. But I don't know if you've ever noticed it, and I've done it. There's sometimes been a meeting that is so important that I need to be at that meeting. But I'll often find the next day I'm really sick, really sick. So it will almost postpone it. So I think for me it's about taking care of myself as soon as possible in a cold.
Right.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. So instead of as we got the symptoms there again, you know, if it is just a cold, you know that what's going on, it's not too serious. It might get you through with, say, some of those over-the-counter medications, but it's not a good long-term option for your health.
No.
What would you suggest then? Would it be more to focus on your immunity?
Well, I'm a big fan of getting well before the winter. So a lot of people come to us with chronic issues. So they've had glandular fever and they've never been well since, or every time they get a cold, they end up with bronchitis. So people will come to us.
That's what I was like, yeah.
So they'll come and say, look, I know I'm going to get sick, and that's okay. And that is okay. It's good for you to have that challenge. But this winter, I don't want to end up in bed or end up on antibiotics if possible.
Right.
Or I don't want it to go to my lungs, or I don't want this to happen. So we look at sort of why, how long it's been going on, how many medications they've had, what is their gut health like? You know, because that's your microbial sponge, isn't it?
That's right. And a huge amount of your immunity, I've learnt from you, is actually based in your gut. So chances are, if you've got recurring health complaints like you may experience or have experienced through the winter months, could it be because maybe your gut's not doing the right thing?
Absolutely. I mean, the gut, in my opinion, is like the first line of defense. So what you ingest and what you breathe in, it's going into all those tissues. And there's really good bacteria in there and bad bacteria, and it can break things down.
Right.
And then you've got your white blood cells, which are in your blood, and that's like your other defense force coming in. So we really want to make sure that maximum easy stuff that the gut does gets done. Excellent. And then hopefully we can support the white blood cells. Awesome.
I love this. Such a great conversation. Hi, Romina. Good to see you. Paul McKay. Good to see you. Michelle Campo Shakia. I hope I said that right. Good to see you. And Debbie Butler, thanks for popping in. We're talking about winter wellness, how to prevent or maybe stop those coughs and colds before they even eventuate in your life. Having just been knocked out for the last 2 days with a rampant virus that's going around, I would suggest you follow some of tonight's tips, because don't go through what I went through. Seriously, I thought I had man flu. It was that bad. So one of the things we're going to talk about tonight is called the health ladder. We're going to show you a bunch of different products tonight that will help you through the stages of the health ladder. But most importantly, it's really important for you guys to understand what the health ladder is, so that as we go through tonight and we show you some great recipes, you'll understand exactly where we are on each rung of the ladder. There's some great products there. Thank you, Pete, for cutting to that. So let's take a look at that video right now.
The Health Bites Health Ladder. Usually the goal of being on a ladder is to be at the top, but our ladder is different. It's much more comfortable, safe, and easier to remain with your feet planted safely on the ground. So we need to make sure everything at ground level is optimal. That's why with a holistic model, getting your diet and lifestyle choices right are our foundation. Feet on the ground, being well through diet and lifestyle. Here are the basics: real food, proper nutrition, a healthy weight, good clean water, nutritional supplementation, condensed nutrients, if needed, particularly for children, teenagers, athletes, elderly, exercise, fun and friendship, great sleep, well-managed stress. You might need some initial help to achieve this level of health, but once you're there, it's worth it, and it's easier to stay healthy than live with disease. First step of the ladder, self-help. The Health Bites Health Ladder. Usually the goal of being on a ladder is to be at the top, but our ladder is different. It's much more comfortable, safe, and easier to remain with your feet planted safely on the ground. So we need to make sure everything at ground level is optimal. That's why with a holistic model, getting your diet and lifestyle choices right are our foundation. Feet on the ground, being well through diet and lifestyle. Here are the basics: real food, proper nutrition, a healthy weight, good clean water, nutritional supplementation, condensed nutrients, if needed, particularly for children, teenagers, athletes, elderly, exercise, fun and friendship, great sleep, well-managed stress. You might need some initial help to achieve this level of health, but once you're there, it's worth it, and it's easier to stay healthy than live with disease. First step of the ladder, self-help. You might be starting to notice symptoms such as bloating, headaches, skin changes, signs of stress, sleep, energy, or hormonal changes. You may start researching your options, online as well as in store. You might visit your health store for some condensed nutrients, vitamins, probiotics, or superfoods. It might be time for some relaxing massage or Reiki therapy to help with relaxation and stress reduction. Second step, noticing changes in symptoms. It's time to ask for help from someone who knows how to help get you back on track. You could visit a life or health coach. A clinical hypnotherapist may help with sleep or harmful habits. Maybe your stress is coming from your work or finances. Career coach, financial advisor. So, what if you've given it a go? You've been to the store, the internet, you've tried some basics, vitamins, dietary changes, etc., but there's not enough change. Your symptoms remain. This means they're chronic. Third step, living with symptoms. It's time for therapeutic support. Time to see the health experts who are trained to make therapeutic changes to help you make positive changes, and those who can refer you for specific medical care should it be needed. Maybe a naturopath to guide and support a return to better health. A physical therapist like a chiropractor or osteopath to help with pain or better function. A counselor to give you tools in your kit to deal with your stress in a healthy and positive way. The list goes on. Light bulb moment. Maybe this is a good place to start. Registered naturopath or medical herbalist. Registered homeopath, chiropractor or osteopath. Ayurvedic or Chinese medicine practitioner. Nutritionist, counselor or psychotherapist. By working with an expert at this level, there is every opportunity that you can return to optimal health and wellness with your feet planted firmly on the ground, safe and healthy. Fourth step, diagnose disease. Follow the advice of your healthcare professional and wellness support team. Up here is where you don't want to be, at the top, feeling very wobbly and clinging on tightly. It's the toughest place to be on the ladder. You need medical intervention, medical specialist, emergency medical treatment. If you are here, you already have a medical diagnosis that may require medication or even surgery. You need to follow all medical advice now. We want you through natural medicine to avoid getting to this stage. support you while you're there, and support you to feel better despite your condition. So if you want to stay planted on the ground in good health or make your way down the ladder, why not consider seeing a natural medicine practitioner?
Well, welcome to tonight's live stream. If you've just joined it, I'm Monique Bradley. This is registered naturopath Lynette in the studio tonight. We're talking about how to deal with those coughs and colds. And I don't know if you guys have struck it yet, but we've both been affected by coughs and colds. The sore glands, the runny nose. And tonight we're going to give you some ideas on how you can beat that naturally using products from your fridge, from your pantry, and also some supplements that will help look after your immune system. So in that video, we were talking about the health ladder. Now, this is your formula as well, your approach to wellness. So the first step we're talking about is getting people with their feet firmly on the ground. Do you want to just explain to people what that means?
Sure. So when I was talking before about being ready for winter, it's about having yourself ready and healthy. So you want to make sure that your gut is healthy, that you've got good flora in there, that you've got a really healthful diet. So you're eating seasonally. So you're getting things like your vitamin A from your pumpkin soup.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
great.
you've got your zinc in your pumpkin seeds.
And kumara is really good as well.
Yeah, so you try and do as much as you can. Fresh greens, lots of fruit, you know, some orange juice and things like that. So that's, you know, you can do that every day.
Yeah, Manuka Honey is obviously really good as well.
Yeah, and just have it there, and you can be walking in the fresh air. You can try and, you know, stay relaxed, keep ahead of your stress, make sure you're sleeping. That's on the ground. That's what you can do.
Now, I know a lot of people have been messaging me saying, oh, Monique, I'm really stressed all the time. We all get stressed. And yes, I've felt the effects of that firsthand and how that actually has affected my health. I have to do a shout out, though, for those people who've been asking me. This is Chillax. This is the spray that Lynette's actually manufactured. Now, Chillax is basically a bark flower remedy, which is really gentle, but you spray it into your mouth, especially when you're feeling in that stage of overwhelm. When you're in that stage of overwhelm, that's when you're starting to compromise your immunity and your health. You don't want to get to that stage because you're more prone to getting viruses. Is that right, Lynette?
Well, have you ever noticed if you get a big surprise or you have really bad news, that night is when you get sick? So if you're constantly staying in that acutely stressed condition, you're really making it very hard on your body. You're making you're working yourself up, and it's not good for the immune system.
No, it certainly is not. That spray actually is available through My Remedy. I highly recommend it. It's really good, particularly if you're in a situation where you're going from meeting to meeting. You know, maybe the kids or your workmates are driving you crazy, and you're just feeling like you're almost going to lose it. That spray will help you find your zen space in the midst of that overwhelm. I think we've got the details coming up on a screen to show you guys as well. The retail price of that spray is $29.95. Shipping is just $3. Shipping anywhere in New Zealand. And it really is very clever. What are the active ingredients in there?
I'm going to read them to make sure I get them right. So elm is one that we put in there for those who just feel really overwhelmed by responsibility. And we've got hornbeam, where you're just finding your day-to-day life just too demanding. Yarrow's been included for people who feel bombarded, which is, you know, me, by people or the traffic or people's ideas or even just everything they have to do. So it kind of puts you in your little bubble.
Your bubble.
Yeah. The white chestnut is there for people who've just got those tyrannical kind of thoughts going round and round and round and just messing your head up. So you don't need anyone else to annoy you. Just you're doing it yourself. Quite sufficiently.
Perfect.
Red chestnut is in there. People say for mums, but I think it's for everyone who has that over concern of everybody else. So you're stressed, worrying about your kids and worrying about this and worrying about your workmates and worrying about everybody. So that's in there to stop that. And then we've just popped a wee bit of rescue remedy in there. A lot of people know about that.
Rescue remedy is so popular, but my understanding is it's more for acute situations or sudden shock, or maybe you've got a bit of stage fright or something like that. So is this a more gentle version?
Well, it's got the rescue in there so that you can go, if that happens, if it is a sudden shock, you've got that ability to calm down. But it's more sort of focused at just actually relax, just settle down. The day is not that hard. It's not that important.
So if you are on that first step of the ladder and maybe you just want to chill out a little bit. Chillax is a great spray. And as Lynette mentioned, you may want to look at adding in a few supplements through your food. So adding in some more vitamin C. This time of year, the beautiful satsumas are coming out in the supermarket. They're a really good price point and they're super tasty. I love them. They're my favorite. Anything you can do naturally to help yourself is a really great step. So you may not be chronically sick, but we don't want you to get to that stage. We want you to look after your health now so you can have a really nice cruisy winter. How does that sound?
Oh, it sounds blissful.
Beautiful. Okay, so that's a great piece of information for you guys. And remember too, because we're live, you're allowed to ask a question. In fact, Debbie Curtis has just messaged in. I've just been told I have strep throat. I've been feeling yucky, looking forward to a bit of relief. Any ideas on what can help strep throat?
Well, we're actually going to make a sort of a honey, ginger, garlic, knock 'em dead tea tonight, right in front of you. So that can be really, really beneficial because you've got things in there like honey and garlic, which are like nature's antibiotics. So they can work really well. Getting zinc lozenges right to your throat can be particularly good for that.
Excellent.
But if you've got something that's serious, you actually need to, don't be super mum, Debbie, and go to bed with your cold in your head. Take as much vitamin C as you can, get to sleep, and let your body rest and recover tonight. Don't muck around though. If strep goes nasty, sometimes you do need to go and see your doctor as well.
Especially if it's moving up into your glands,
Absolutely.
right? Have to be really
Absolutely.
careful. Now, there are some particular ingredients that you can, or some particular condensed nutrients you can add into your everyday diet to help you fight the symptoms of coughs and colds, or basically as a precursor so you don't get them. So Lynette, here's a bunch of things which people may actually have in their pantry. You've got things like cinnamon and ginger, black pepper in there. Those are all really warming ingredients. What do they do for the immune system?
Well, you're heating yourself up, and that's what your body needs. You often feel so cold, so your body is screaming out for some converters, some temperature. It's also really warming to your gut as well, which keeps your gut nice and healthy.
Great. So we've got onions and red chilies in there. We've got sage. How do they all work? Because I normally just assume you're going to throw them into a casserole or throw them into some Mexican food. How does that work? Is it the same sort of principle there?
Yeah, and I'd actually add into that garlic as well. I mean, garlic would be my go-to, even ahead of onions.
Wow.
Just to really stimulate the immune response. Anything that's hot, anything that's heating, and it's opening up your blood vessels, it's allowing your circulation. These are all really important.
And cloves again are really fantastic for warming as well. Would you say?
Yes. And they also have some antiviral properties as well. In fact, if you have an infection in your mouth, some clove oil is very, 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 very tiny amount, can be very good to get on top of an infection. So these are powerful. That's why they're in our casseroles and our stews and our soups. There's kind of a reason
Hearty,
those
warming
things are
food.
in there. Yeah.
And then at the bottom there, you've got some herbs. I know these names. I've seen them in the health food stores. I've seen them everywhere. You've got echinacea, elderberry, and lemon balm.
Yeah.
What are they like? Magical?
They are magical, and these are things that just stimulate the immune response all the time. Or if you are sick, they'll really help you get on top of mucus. Elderberry is one of my favorites to just make a tincture or a tea or make some juice from that. It's loaded with vitamin C. It's really going to support your white blood cells. It's really just going to give your body some extra nutrition to try and get on top of those bugs.
So to support your immune system as well, we thought we'd share with you a kind of a winter hot toddy drink that you can make now. This is really delicious. It's great for your throat. It will help boost your immunity. We're going to be really brave, and we're going to drink this live during tonight's live show.
We're making the evil version tonight
because we're actually going to add in some raw garlic tonight as well. So as you can see, we're making everything from scratch. And Lynette, I just really want you to talk into some of the ingredients that we're going to use tonight. So you mentioned garlic. How does garlic work for the immune system? Is that a big question?
Well, it is a really big question, but essentially we know it as nature's antibiotic.
Stop, really?
Actually and also it keeps other people away from you as well. Your breath's
Which is wonderful.
really, really bad. But it does. In garlic and ginger, between the two of them, you're really heating yourself up.
Right.
And you're giving your body, like garlic, the allicin in garlic is what goes through our gut and actually really supports all the mucous membranes to break down bacteria.
Seriously, so we're actually going to drink this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sorry. It is a bit of crush, but we can do the chunky version.
We'll do the chunky version. Okay, so we're going to add some garlic. And I found a whole bunch of things in my cupboard that you said are kind of on the list. So we've got turmeric is really good for inflammation.
Yep,
so
and that's great, isn't it, to bring the inflammation down, because it's often that pain that you feel.
Excellent. We've got some ground nutmeg as well, because I heard that's quite warming too.
I've never put nutmeg in it, but I just like the flavour of it.
I love nutmeg as well. Cayenne pepper. So here's a little tip. My dad was also a homeopath and a naturopath, and he used to put cayenne pepper in his socks to help with his circulation. And his feet.
That's a thing, and people still do it, and it's really nice, particularly if people have got those veins and chilblains and things like that.
Right.
Brilliant idea.
It's also really good for those of you who are really a bit challenged with your weight as well. It's very good for stimulating the metabolism. So I put cayenne pepper into everything.
Oh, do you?
I love it.
Lady.
I love it. The other things we've got, cloves as mentioned, really, really good. Now, I don't have the hugest of budget, so I will use the dried ingredients wherever I can, because it's a bit more cost effective. If you can afford in your budget to get the, the real ginger and things like that, do try and get the best quality, or the piece of turmeric instead of the ground turmeric that I'm going to use tonight. Ginger, obviously, I've got the powdered version there, and we've got some cinnamon. Now, my understanding is cinnamon's also good for the gut, or can it be too inflammatory for the gut? Please explain.
I think if you've got a really healthy gut, it's a lovely spice to use, but I would actually go cautious with cinnamon.
Okay.
A lot of people, particularly if they have chronic illness, their gut is actually not that happy anyway.
Right.
And so if you're one of the bloating sufferers, I'd probably go cautious on the cinnamon.
Okay.
It's a bark. It's rough.
Right.
And sometimes we find that we have looked at all the foods and then we knock the cinnamon out, and it's like,
really?
So it's a funny one, because it's so beneficial in so many ways, and particularly, to help you with your uptake of sugar and breaking that down.
Ah, that's right. Yes, I did hear it's really good for people with diabetes as well.
But we need to get their gut functioning really well. So there's never one thing.
Gotcha.
But I'm actually getting really nervous about this. This is going to be a real evil brew.
It's going to be pretty potent. So I'm just, if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just chopping up some ginger here as well. Great way to deal with. I've just cut its arms off. Great way to deal with ginger is to actually, instead of trying to peel it, just peel it with a spoon. That's the best way I've ever found of dealing with ginger there.
And just grate the whole thing anyway.
You can, yeah, that's true.
But this is great. So, I mean, we're having it as a toddy because we're just suckers for punishment.
We are.
But if you were putting these in your soups and your stews and your teas every day, you're actually working ahead of the cold. So we're both, Monique and I we're feeling really good now because we've been hitting these.
I'm amazed.
over the last couple of days. But
it
does, it's warmed us up, and forget the science. It's been in our mother's recipe book forever.
That's
that
right.
You have garlic and you have ginger and you have lemon and you have honey. We know that we're meant to have those things in our diet.
And that reminded me, lemon.
Oh, don't forget that.
I know, right?
It makes it taste normal.
And this is the thing. Oh, Raja Arjun, good to see you. So good afternoon, ladies. First of all, congratulations to Lynette Hill for sky jumping.
Oh, thank you.
My hands were sweating even watching her in the video. Respect. I had to be excreting bricks just even standing on that platform. Okay,
it was
perfect.
So much fun. Even if you think you might slightly want to do it, you should do it. It was such a good day.
I agree. I'll just
really
get rid of the pips there. Now, Abby Leaf, is garlic good in your socks as well?
Actually, my poor children, they'll probably never forgive me for this, but when they were babies and I'd see I could see that there's a little bit of a runny nose or something was coming on, I would just peel a garlic clove. I wouldn't crush it. So that it wasn't liquid, it was just not in this hard casing. So I would just take that basic casing off, and I'd pop that little clove into their little sock, and I'd go in the morning and they would smell very, very savoury. It would take a long time for the room to clean up, but they were well, and
I love it.
I always tried. I didn't know what I know now, but I would do things like give them vitamin C and garlic and chicken noodle soup and all those kind of things. And, it really does, you can't help get a cold. It's okay to get a cold. But what we want to do is shorten it up, make it less miserable, and actually improve your immune result as your immune response as a result of the cold.
Gotcha. Now, Abby just said also, is it true having half an onion in your socks is good for your body?
I don't know because I've never done that, Abby.
Oh, I think there's a test
half an
on the
onion.
way.
Like, what if you got up in the night and you needed to go to the toilet and you had this onion in your sock? The onion thing comes from half an onion by the bed, and I was told that was the onion would absorb all the bugs, and therefore they wouldn't get you.
Oh,
These
wow.
mean, nasty little bugs that creep
Wow.
around. But actually, when you roughly cut an onion, and that's probably why that was on that list, onions.
Yes.
They release a lot of sulfur into the air. And when your child is lying there coughing and spluttering and you cut the onion, that sulfur lays down on the throat and it stops the spasm. And you sleep.
I didn't know
So
that.
that's, sleep's a big part of getting well. So that's, sulfur drugs and things like that.
Amazing. I also read that that when you're painting a house, that you should leave half a cut onion, and it takes all the paint fumes out as well.
It probably does. And there are also plants that do that. When we painted our new clinic, all our plants looked like they died, but they'd actually absorbed all of the fumes and everything.
No way.
They're okay now.
So Debbie Curtis said she's always eating salads and fruit. That's a really great place to start. That's about getting your feet back on the ground. When things are starting to get a little bit more serious, or you want to do a little bit more work, you need to try something perhaps like this. Now, we've actually got a recipe coming up on the screen. It's got all the ingredients, including some Manuka honey, which we're going to add into the mix in just a second. We'll just bring that screen up for you guys. So we've got some Manuka honey. You want to add more vitamin C into your everyday. What does zinc do?
Well, zinc is it gives your body a real boost to fight infection. So it's really good for wound healing. And actually, what doesn't zinc do, I would say?
Wow.
But your body chews through vitamin C and zinc when you're sick. And if any of you have ever seen a Hemaview, I will always say to someone, are you getting sick right now? Most people go, no, I'm all right. I'm just a bit scratchy. And then they'll ring me the next day and say, how did you know? And it's because you have like 2 to 3 times as many neutrophils, and your body is actually mounting a response. Now that's like sending a whole lot of soldiers out. The body knows what to do.
Right.
What those soldiers are waiting for is a feed of zinc and vitamin C. So if you feel that scratchiness, you've got all of these fighters waiting to do something, feed them with your zinc and vitamin C. So you need to triple the amount of vitamin C than you'd normally have. So a mandarin is not going to cut it. Feed those soldiers and they'll go out and fight the war.
Oh, that's amazing. And also, it had up there on the list medicinal herbs and herb teas. We've got some great examples to show you guys coming up in just a second, just there on the list. And also with this hot toddy recipe on the next screen, you'll notice that we've actually, or when that comes up, we're adding in Manuka honey. We've got ginger, garlic, lemon juice in here. Smelling great. Now, something else that can work, and I actually learnt this from my friend who's Dutch. She would make a tincture like this or a drink. She'd actually add in paprika as well because it's so warming. Yeah, paprika. So there you go. Manuka honey, garlic, cayenne pepper, ginger, and lemon. That is the magic right there. This is what we're about to drink. So wish us luck here. I'm going to put in some delicious, really dark Manuka honey right in here. Hopefully you guys can see it. Now you want to look for a really good quality Manuka honey as well, and something to look out for is what we call the UMF factor. That's the unique Manuka factor. The higher the Manuka factor, the more potency you have in your honey. What does that do for our immune?
Well, anything that is antibacterial is going to help us. The more that we can do to wipe out the bacteria and to get on top of the virus, the less our body has to do. In fact, honey is one of the best things, and it doesn't have to be, if you haven't got the very, very high quality honeys, any honey is better than none, and it's a really nice way to stop coughing, that sticky syrup going down your throat as well.
So Debbie,
just breaking it down.
Debbie, you were talking about the fact that your throat's been really icky. Something like this could absolutely help you. Now, Lynette said there's 2 ways to drink this. You can make yourself a big flagon of it like this to drink throughout the day.
Never.
Right, and sip on it. Or you can do what we're about to do and take it as a shot. But I haven't done enough for you there, Lynette, because I've got all the garlicky bits.
There's huge chunks in here.
Yep.
Oh, you're giving me more.
I am.
Oh, that's mean.
So I'd love to see what you guys think if you try it. I'd love for you guys to put in the newsfeed. I've got way more than you anyway.
That's all right.
As
You're
to
thicker than I am.
what you think. All right, here we go. To good health.
To good health.
Good health. Oh yeah. Oh. That's sensational.
So you've got to do it as a shot.
Oh, that's amazing.
So you don't actually taste. You do get a bit of a hit of the garlic, but you just feel warm, right?
Oh, so good. There you go. So that's a really great idea. You can do something like that as a shot. Look, one of those in the morning before you go to work. Whew,
I've called it my Lynette's evil flu brew for years, and I've had people sort of laugh and curse all at the same time, but it works. You've just given yourself so many potent goodies.
Now, Megan Keating has messaged, and Megan, great to see you on tonight's stream, and said onions really good for external infections, she said.
Again, that's probably the sulfur.
Yeah, the sulfur. And also she's just said, is it better to use honey in your cooking instead of other sweeteners like stevia? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I absolutely think so. My attitude is as close to natural as possible. Stevia is, I just personally don't like the sweetness of it, so I'll always go to honey or maple syrup or something like that, because it's not just the sweetness, they've got other goodies in there as well, and antioxidants. But I still feel that as much as possible, pull back from sweetness, like retrain into a more savoury, and then you can just enjoy something like the honey.
I know, going through my own low carb journey, on my carb test results, and I can talk to you about this, Megan, because I know you know what I've been going through with my weight loss and everything. On my carb test results, honey was one of the sweeteners I actually could have in moderation. And that's because of the way that it's actually processed in the body, because it is natural. My body sees it as food. It's not a chemical, and that's really important. So yeah, there's a lot of benefits to honey, but yeah, lightening up on the sweeteners is a real win. I'll take these out of your way. Now, you've got some beautiful tea there from our friend Kohei at Joy Tea.
I do. I'll get you to do all the fancy showing it under the camera stuff.
Okay, perfect.
But we have a fabulous naturopath working at my remedy called Kohei, and he has designed this range Joy Tea. It's kind of a range that you create your own teas, but he's made some special ones. So this one today is called Immunity SOS. So,
I love that.
Yeah, immunity.
And in fact, we are going to do a giveaway of a pack of this tea. So if you send in a really good question tonight through the live stream, one of you will be rewarded with a pack of tea. And that's valued at, is it $24.95? I think
so.
I think it's,
yeah. The one thing I didn't find out was that.
Well, this immunity tea, I've got the details here. We've got echinacea, elderflower, aniseed. You can actually smell the aniseed coming through. Eyebright, and goldenrod. So that, and thyme as well. There's a heap in here actually.
So that's really going from everything from your sinus infection to your sore throat and actually into your respiratory. So particularly the thyme, you'll really taste that in there.
Beautiful.
Thyme is something that we will put into a throat spray as a heavy hitting herb. So these are heavy hitting herbs, but when they're in a tea, they're a much lighter presentation to you. So you can actually have these 2 or 3 times a day. They're really, really safe. Kohei's designed them in a way that they're not going to interfere with medication, so you can just drink that tea.
And you've got the tiny little flowers in there. Are they the elderflowers?
Yeah.
That's so beautiful.
They're so pretty, aren't they?
So you've got the echinacea in there for the upper respiratory infections, good for tonsillitis, good for glandular fever or enlarged lymph nodes, which is what I've had. You've got in there the elderflower, which is really super cute, but it's also really good for the feverish colds and the dry cough. There's aniseed in there, so if you like licorice and aniseed, which I do, you're going to love this. It'll make it taste nice, but at the same time, it's for those, you know, those really hard dry coughs. Yeah. Really good for that. Eyebright is in there, and that's for a sore throat and for the common cold and upper respiratory problems. The goldenrod is in there for sinusitis. It's also really good for fluid retention, which, you know, especially if you've been a little bit sedentary and you notice that your ankles are swelling up a little bit because I just can't be bothered getting out of bed. That's going to help. And you've got the thyme in there, which is so good for the colds and chest. And I think about those yummy winter roasts, which are always loaded with sage and rosemary and thyme. There's a reason why we cook like that at that seasonal time of the year. It's because your food is your medicine. So it's a great time to add these foods into your diet to help your immunity. And look, the taste is sensational.
They're lovely. They're really lovely. Every tea he's made that I've tried has been delicious.
It is beautiful. Now this tea in particular, you only need a teaspoon per serving.
Yeah.
So it's really beautiful, great flavour. We've let it brew for, oh gosh, probably 10 minutes or so.
It needs 10 minutes.
And in the pack here, you shake and mix the herbs well, and then it's 1 level of teaspoon for basically for a cup. So I don't know how many cups there are in here, but probably 20 or 30 cups.
There's 30.
30 cups.
There's 30 in there.
There you go. There's Joy Tea.
So that's a really nice way, because herbs are really hard hitting and quite expensive and actually sometimes really difficult to take. But doing it in a tea, that is a really pleasant experience to stay healthy.
That's nice. And I don't know about you guys, but I drink probably 10 cups of tea a day, so I can do it and boost my immunity at the same time. Now, Abby's just asked, what is an all-round product to use so that when winter comes, it's helped your body with a yearly booster already and it's easier to keep sickness free? Well, that's really what tonight's show is all about.
Just one all-round product, Abby?
Vitamin C?
Vitamin C would be the thing. If you had nothing else, you know, and you had some garlic and ginger and things like that, having a good vitamin C in your cupboard ready to go and having a really high dose of that would be for the one thing. If you could possibly do it, getting along and seeing a naturopath and actually getting a practitioner strength product prescribed for you so that we know that when a cold comes up, something like this, which I gave Monique earlier
before
today.
the show, because my glands were swollen.
So I know Monique and I know her history and I know that all of the ingredients in this product are safe for you and that they're not going to interfere with anything else. So I was able to give Monique some, you know, vitamin C, andrographis, and you know she's actually doing all right. We're both doing okay. We
feel fine.
I actually don't feel sick anymore.
I don't feel sick. I'm just still slightly swollen in the gland, but other than that, I'm a box of fluffies.
Yeah.
Quite surprised at how much energy I have. And normally, and this is the first year that I've had a cold and haven't been knocked out for days. So that's quite a change in my immunity.
Faster.
Oh, much faster.
And that's the key, is that when you are really well, so you've got your gut sorted and you've got your diet sorted, it means you can take a little bit of a hit. You know, you've got the right bacteria in your gut doing what they should. You're not so stressed that you're not coping. And all you've added in it is a few condensed nutrients. You've used some wise choices from your kits. Yeah. And you know, your honey and lemon and everything else. So,
absolutely. One of the other things that has really helped me, and this is what I pulled out of the cupboard yesterday, I have a homeopathic kit, and this is what I got from Lynette. And inside it comes with a description of all of the remedies with all of the symptoms. So this is the the instructions from the Feeling Poorly kit right there. But over on the other side, it has like this checklist. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but I can go through and find which symptoms I've got, and then it gives you a recommendation of which homeopathic treatment is going to, or basically, what do you call it? A homeopathic remedy?
Yeah.
Is going to be best for you. Yeah. So that's the Feeling Poorly kit. I took that with me to India actually, and when I got a little bit of Delhi belly, oh my goodness, it was fantastic. It helped me through. So yesterday morning when I woke up with really bad symptoms of the cold, the first thing I did was I pulled out this container and I opened up the description booklet, I guess you could say, and I knew that the symptoms came on really suddenly. So the first thing I did was I got out the aconite, which is for sudden symptoms like that. I took 3 of these tiny little tablets twice, and I was, much better for the rest of the day. Yeah. And is that what it's designed to do?
It's basically just designed to match whatever symptom you have and prompt your body to start healing faster. So it's most people understand arnica is really neat. When you get a bump or a bruise, it seems to take the pain away and the bruising goes faster. You still bruise, you're still going to get a cold, but it steps you through it. And then you noticed today that you'd moved on from that symptom. It didn't match, and you took the one for the swollen glands, and lo and behold, that was improving. So
absolutely.
You're getting good. You're getting confident.
Why, thank you. Well, you make it easy because you've got all the instructions in there. So now, if you want to grab one of these kits, they're truly amazing. There's other kits available. So there's kits for children and families. There's a kiddie kit in there. There's even a little kit that you can take, which clips onto your key ring. And it has in there things like, in this one, it's got Hepasolve, it's got ipecac, which is what I actually used for food poisoning when I was in India, bryonia, things that you might use, Hepasulf for hypersensitivity, ipecac for nausea and vomiting. I've been learning a lot, and I'm reading it as well. Bryonia for headaches and things like that. This is really great for traveling as well, because it just clips onto your key ring, where you can pop it inside your handbag, and it just all folds up beautifully. And then the kits that you've got over there, Lynette, which ones have you got? So that's the Feeling Poorly kit.
I think we've got the Feeling Poorly and the Kitty and the Croup.
The Croup, excellent.
The Croup's nasty when your children are coughing like
so
that.
true.
Yeah.
So these kits are available on Lynette's website, www.myremedy.co.nz. You click on the shop button and you can have those delivered straight to you. Abby, that's one of the things I would always, particularly because you've got children, that's something I would always have on hand. Again, this size will fit into your handbag, and it's got all the answers in there, particularly for sudden onset conditions. So if you are out and suddenly one of your kids starts to, you've got something that may just help. And these are gentle. Gentle and very safe. A heap of questions coming in. So Raja has just said people should know that your knowledge is 100% authentic as well, because it's very similar to their beliefs of Ayurveda. I can't say it.
Ayurvedic.
Yeah, Ayurvedic medicine as well, which is part of his culture. So thank you for that confirmation. I really appreciate that. Now, Zaya Sajid said, ma'am, please, can you give me any mixtures or ingredients to reduce weight? Well, I think some of the ones that we're talking about tonight would help with that too.
Absolutely. Start with the cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, just to bring those sugar cravings down. But that's the herbs for weight loss. That's a whole other show.
Yeah, we'll do a show on that coming up very soon. So we'll keep you posted, Zaya. Now, another question. Is it good to have your concoction that we did before a yummy breakfast of porridge, or can you have it anytime and as many times as you want? So that's our little tincture of yumminess.
Yeah, I would say anytime you need it. So I tend to find when I have it, I'm actually good for a few hours. I'll always take vitamin C as well. I just can't help myself. I'm a naturopath. But it really does. Are you still feeling warm?
Oh, I'm feeling super warm. My cheeks are warm.
Yeah, so you actually stay so good. If you're really, really sick, you might want to have another one, say one at breakfast time, one at lunchtime, empty stomach if you want. Some people cannot tolerate the garlic. That's fine. Put the ginger in. You know, you make it your own. But for me, if I'm coming down with something, I put everything
straight into it. I love it. A product that I've seen recently, which I love, and we're going to try as well. I got this from a friend of mine. It's just new to the market, and I'm hoping that Lynette's going to stock it. This is a beautiful drink called Goodman Nuki, loaded with Manuka Honey. It comes in 2 flavors. This is the honey and elderflower, and it also comes in a pear and ginger as well. Oh, there we go. Now you can see. These are great. By the way, we're not paid to tell you guys about this. I just think it's yummy. This is one you would keep and have as like a daily drink. And you had a look through. You thought the ingredients were pretty darn good.
Well, they're basically saying what we've been saying this whole show. You know, garlic. Well, no, not garlic. Ginger, lemon, honey. You really can't go wrong with those. They may not be enough if you're terribly, terribly, terribly sick. But we're talking about the beginning. We're talking about preventing it or speeding it up and getting through.
Oh, that's so nice as well. I love it that you can take things that actually taste good as well. Did you like it?
Is that the elderberry?
Yeah, that's the lemon and elderflower.
Oh, delicious.
Love it. So again, loaded with goodness. And these are the things you need to look out for. But always do, if you're finding products like this on the shelf, this one's great. We've had a look at the ingredients. Do check the ingredients on the back and make sure that they're actually going to deliver on what they promise. This is a lovely drink. I think it's beautiful and something you can quite pleasantly drink every day. Right, Lynette, we've talked about homeopathy. We've talked about your kits. Let's talk about the difference between acute and chronic. So when somebody is going up the health ladder, so they can't get their feet back on the ground, they're really struggling with those symptoms, the temperature's not going down.
Okay.
What should we do?
Okay. So the first thing I'd like to say is don't be too afraid of a temperature. That's our body's best defense. So, well, and another layer of defense. So we've got our microbial sponge, which is hopefully in our gut going to absorb things and get rid of them that way. We've got our little white blood cells as well, which are running around and like Pac-Man and eating things up. But our temperature needs to rise. It needs to get above 37% to even start breaking bacteria and viruses down. So, you know, it's scary when someone has a fever or a child has a fever. But if you consider that it's a fire, and we need fire to burn rubbish, and it needs to get to it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but you need to tend it, you need to watch it. But what we tend to do is the fire gets going and we're like, oh my gosh, it's fire. That is so frightening. That's like 37 degrees there. So let's quickly just
get the paracetamol into it
and
things
slow
like
it
that.
down. Yeah, and what that does is it actually stops that burning and it stops our body doing what we need to do. And often you'll find that's what we were talking about at the beginning when you take some of the drugs that you can take. You cool yourself down and you feel better today, but you didn't get rid of the bugs.
Right.
So now you're going to deal with it tomorrow.
So if it's acute, it means it's sudden onset. It's happening right now. One of the best things you can do in that situation is maybe try some high-dose vitamin C, some zinc, vitamin A and herbs, which Lynette's already covered earlier in tonight's live stream. And try that hot toddy shot. It's really lovely. Yep. I'm feeling good. Now, you know it's chronic when you get sick often. It's a recurring sickness. You never feel quite well. You never quite recover. And sometimes that can be after somebody has maybe something like glandular fever or something that's really compromised their immune system. So in that situation, they're moving further up the health ladder. So you've brought in some products tonight to talk about how to help that.
I have. So the first thing is I mean, vitamin C, yet again, there are so many forms of it. I won't discuss too many the differences in forms, but do talk to your health practitioner about the best one for you. I personally love the ones that are made from fruit.
Beautiful.
Funnily enough,
because
our body recognizes it. So vitamin C is generally pretty safe in high dose, and pretty much if you have too much, you'll just end up on the toilet and think, now I've got diarrhea.
Oh, whoopsie. So go gentle.
That's okay. This is one that, it's practitioner only, but it's a strong vitamin C and zinc, which we give out to families. So everyone from little children up to mum and dad can take this.
So somebody needs to come in and see you to be able to get that
product. To have that prescribed in the first place.
And what's that going to do for them?
That's going to absolutely boost their immune system.
We love that.
If you've got a little one that's always getting sick and you think, oh, we're going into winter again and they're off to preschool and they get every bug, having them on this is quite protective.
Okay.
You know, it's not going to stop everything, but most people say, yeah, it's a lot better. Probiotics, it's not here because it's in the fridge.
Right.
Just having a good gut flora is going to protect against a lot of those bugs as well.
I have some probiotics actually in my fridge.
Everything in her fridge.
I do have everything in my fridge.
It's like a TARDIS. It's like a magic cave.
Now you've got a mushroom product up there as well.
Super mushrooms. Super mushrooms are something I've used for about in one form or another. So Coriolis, Grapholis, reishi, shiitake, all of those amazing mushrooms. They really activate the immune response. They're little scavengers, and it doesn't seem to matter if this is something like viral, fungal, bacterial. It really stimulates the immune response. So this is something that would need to be given to you by a practitioner to make sure it's safe and effective and a good dose.
And at least you know what to ask for or to look out for as well when you're talking to a practitioner.
Well, your practitioner is going to know what you need. So in some cases it's going to be this, in some cases it might be really high dose specific probiotics. It might be that we make you up a herbal tincture. You know, we know which pathway it's going. We've got products that really focus on the sinus or on the bronchioles.
Wow.
So it really depends where you're going. So you don't want to just have a bottle of, it worked for me, so you should have it, which is what a lot of people do. And they say, well, you know, my friend had that and they took it and they got well and I took it and it didn't work. It may just be because it wasn't quite right for you.
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
This is the probiotic I have in the fridge. So I used to suffer with a lot of health problems and I would get sick all the time. I think this is probably one of the, I get tired, but I never really get terribly sick anymore. And that's because I take this as part of my everyday wellness program. And I do this, I even add a little bit into my smoothies if I'm making a smoothie. Really easy to take, and you know that it's actually helping create that beautiful microbiome in there that's really going to support your immune system and help you be well through the winter months. You keep this in your fridge. This is practitioner only as well. Great price point, lasts for ages. I'll pop it back in the fridge. Right, excellent.
That's all.
It's all going on tonight.
Yeah, I've also just brought across some of these little things as well.
Oh, that's cute.
This is BioBalance, and I think you can get this in some pharmacies, these kind of herbal tinctures for children. They're really nice to have before you need them as well. So what I'd suggest you do is, even if you haven't got sick yet, that's fantastic. Just keep, get those warming foods in, but maybe just have something ready to go just in case, because if you hit it hard at the beginning,
that's right.
Sweet.
You're not going to suffer the consequences. You've got to look after yourself now. Michelle Reed's just messaged in and said, love Manuki. Hi, Lynette. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. So we're waiting for a really good question because we've got a giveaway tonight. So Lynette's drinking Manuki right now. We've got this giveaway. We've got an amazing pack of the Immunity SOS from our friend Kohei from Joy Tea to give away. So we want a really good question from you guys, and you may just win that pack. Now, Debbie Curtis said ME and fibro. So that can be a real struggle with health and wellness. Are all these products gentle enough to work with people in those situations, or do you have to rely on your practitioner's knowledge and expertise to take that into account?
Yeah, that is that's a chronic condition, which means it's ongoing. And so we need to look at, we can't get rid of things, but we can support it. So there's some very specific protocols for that, and a lot of it's to do with bringing down inflammation, really settling down the autoimmune response at the gut. So there's quite a lot of work to do around those chronic conditions.
So a big recurring thing that I think I've heard tonight is that you've got to start with your gut first. You are what you eat, so don't be cheap, easy or fast. That's always a good rule. And remember that let food be thy medicine. That's what Hippocrates said a long time ago. And that's really the fundamentals of what naturopathy and natural medicine or herbal medicine, all those sorts of things are really all about. And that's really what we wanted to bring you all in tonight's show. So, takeaways from tonight. Get your feet back on the ground. Make sure your nutrition is really good. At this time of the year, add more vitamin C. See what you can do with your nutrition and with the food that you eat to help you be well naturally. When your feet start to head up the first rung of that health ladder, so you're feeling a bit wiggly, your first port of call, maybe to have a look at some condensed nutrients. So you're looking at your vitamin C, your zinc, products like Manuki we talked about tonight, the hot toddy that we made tonight.
Vitamin D is another one.
Vitamin D, get out and see if you can get some sunlight, maybe some calcium. Not so much.
Not so much calcium.
Not so much. What am I talking about?
Vitamin A.
Vitamin A, that's
it.
the one. I knew it was coming. Pumpkin is really loaded with vitamin A as well. Kumara is also
and
great.
Put your garlic and your ginger in there.
Lots
put it in everything.
and lots of garlic and ginger. Onions also as well. So think about maybe using some condensed nutrients, and when you start moving further up that health ladder, so you are really unable to shake those symptoms, maybe it's gone into your glands, you've got the strep throat, you do need to consider seeking help from a professional. So we've got those ingredients, those condensed nutrients there on this screen.
And when we talk about a professional, don't be afraid to ring your naturopath as well. A lot of naturopaths will have what's called an acute appointment. So no, we do that at My Remedy. If you've got something, we'll have a look at you, we'll get you on some whacking herbs and some really good prescriptive supplements and get you ahead and hopefully get you out of that condition. So it's not always that you need to end up on medication, but we will also be quite realistic about it. If we think you need antibiotics or to go further, we'll certainly send you where you need to go.
I totally agree. I've seen you do that firsthand. Look out, talk to somebody, get that conversation started. That's what these shows are about as well, to give you some ideas on your health. Anne Schmidt just messaged in and just said, Anna Schmidt, sorry, just joined. What was the drink tonic you were drinking tonight? Okay, we've got a few. We're going to put a hot toddy recipe on the screen, and you can make this right now. This is what Lynette and I made earlier in tonight's live show. You can drink this as a shot, or you can have it as a beautiful tea drink. You've got some Manuka honey in there, garlic, cayenne pepper, ginger, and lemon. Really simple to make. Start your day with one of these, and you'll be rolling for the rest of the day.
Yep.
We've also got another tea here tonight from our friend Kohei at Joy Tea. This is an Immunity blend from him. It's called Immunity SOS. Check them out on Facebook because they really, really are amazing. And also tonight we have been drinking Manuki, which is a new product to New Zealand, new to the market, loaded with Manuka honey, because Manuka honey is great. Oh, by the way, Joy Tea's doing a live workshop coming up. So if you can find out the details on Event Finder all about that, or check them out on Facebook.
I'm going to go to one of those.
They're great. I've been.
Yeah, I haven't got to one.
Oh, they're fantastic.
And everyone raves about them, so I'm going.
Okay, so more questions coming in. This is great, you guys. Gina Sterling, kia ora to you, Gina, just said, need a pick-me-up, please. Just so cold here in Tokoroa.
Right.
What to do?
Have that. Have the toddy.
This.
The toddy. I'm so warm.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
She said, I've had lots of soups, lemon drinks. I need something else. Any suggestions?
Ginger, garlic. You know, get the
Cayenne
spices
pepper.
into there as well.
100%.
I'm so warm. I'm so warm.
These are all the things that are going to help you out right now, and they're all natural. Think about your herbal teas as well. So if you find a really nice fruit herbal tea, you don't need to add any sweetener, but you'll get lots of yummy, yummy goodness into your system there. So really, really good for you. And Debbie Curtis has just said turmeric for inflammation as well. You quite like that?
Absolutely. Yes. Yep. Get into it. And you can make that into a latte as well. So you can put your maybe not lemon with turmeric, but your ginger and turmeric and maybe some almond milk can make that a really warming, soothing drink.
And Michelle Reed, so there's our immune boosting drink right there. Michelle Reed just asked, inflammation from a DVT. What do you suggest? Wow.
Oh, that's a
big question, Michelle.
Pretty much where I can go on a show like this is get vitamin C, because it's really good for flexibility of your membranes, and it also helps with the circulation, and keep your fluids up, because we want your circulation to be moving very easily and not be dried up and pushing through.
Of course, we're not here to diagnose tonight with this show. We're just here to open up your mind to new ways with your own health, and to be prepared to ask the questions of your healthcare professional, to seek out the help of a naturopath, a homeopath, a hypnotherapist, a chiropractor, an osteopath, somebody who's going to steer you in the right direction with your health. So ask those questions, talk to your friends, talk to your whānau, ask them who's helping them on their own health journey, and yeah, make your own judgments.
It's such a good idea to ask for, you know, you're feeling good, who helped you?
Yeah, I think that's great. So I will tell everybody about you, because I'm feeling great. We've had a good show tonight. So many products. Remember, you can take your own health into your hands by looking after yourself naturally. My Remedy, which is the clinic that Lynette owns, is here in Auckland in Browns Bay, and they offer several different services: naturopathy, hypnotherapy, homeopathy, and bark flowers, which is one of the things we talked about earlier in the show. And they're all there to help you find your way to wellness. Now, one of the things they also offer, which I didn't write there on the screen, is something called Hemaview. So for those of you who do have chronic illness and you just keep getting sick over and over again, and you can't seem to work out why, a Hemaview appointment basically looks at what's going on in your blood. And from that, what can you find?
We can really get an indication of what's happening with the gut. So we know, you know, if we need to give a lot of focus into the gut, just from the platelets and what they're doing, so we don't see the gut. We can easily spot what's going on with your white blood cells, and your white blood cells only last about 4 days in your bloodstream.
Wow.
But by looking at the age of them, so we count the lobes, and there's a little bit of science in behind there.
Is that heap of science?
We can see if they're sitting around too long, if they're coming out too soon. If we get concerned, we'll send you off for more blood tests. But we can get a bit of a snapshot. I personally love working with the immune system with Hemaview, because you get so many answers.
Very exciting. I've had it done. It was amazing looking at my blood. I learned so much about my health, and it has helped me basically transform my health from Oh gosh, for so many reasons, from weight loss, not that you talk about that. It was my choice to make changes to my diet, but it was part of my education according to the snapshot of my own blood, and it's been a life changer. So I highly recommend you head to their website, www.myremedy.co.nz. On the website, there is a shop where things like, you know, these beautiful homeopathic kits are already listed. There's some amazing blogs on there. So blogs about gut health, all sorts of things to do about what's hypnotherapy, what to do with stress. There's a heap of information on there. So I do recommend you go and have a look. And you can also pick up, if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed, you can pick up your bottle of chillax. Seriously, I can't tell you how I describe this because it's a little X-rated, but it will let you care less about stress. So if your workmates are driving you crazy, you won't be bothered. That's all I'm going to say. It is really clever, basically produced around using bark flower remedies, which are incredibly gentle. Look, even kids can take this. It won't interfere with your medications. It's really gentle and good for those of you who are like me, who are sensitive souls. And we need something just to help us get through that space of overwhelm. This is great. I keep it in my handbag. It's a well-loved bottle, very well used as well. Oh, great. So we need to find somebody to give a prize away to. Oh,
I've done a draw.
You've done a draw?
I put them in a hat.
Perfect. And the winner is?
Do you want me to say?
Yes, go ahead.
Have I got that right?
Yes, it is.
It's Gina Sterling.
Yay! Congratulations, Gina. This beautiful pack of immunity SOS from Joy Tea is coming to you to Tokoroa for you to try. Hope you enjoy that. And in fact, let us know what you think. Send me your email, not your email address, send me your postal address and we'll get that sent down to you. A big thank you to all of you who have been watching tonight. Really fantastic. And remember, every month we focus on a different health topic here. So if you want to know more about your health, you need to be here, and please help us out. We want to help more people with their health. So please share tonight's live stream, throw a like on it, share it with your friends and family, because as you've seen, we've got a heap of information to share with you guys. Any final words before we go?
I would say just don't be afraid of garlic and ginger. Get it down.
Perfect. Take it as a shot. If we can do it, so can you. All right, time to head away. Thanks, Sonia Paul, for watching. She said, thanks, guys. Gina Sterling said, yay, so happy. Thank you so much. Cool. Well, thanks for asking great questions. Thanks to Pete, who is behind the camera tonight, our producer and director. And thank you guys for watching. And remember, look after your health. Eat good food. Take condensed nutrients. And remember to ask more questions about your health, because then you hold the power of your health in your own hands. Thank you so much, Lynette. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next time.